here to bring you news, politics, and whatever else tickles my fancy. Welcome to the Ho Ho Show, and I am your host, Ho Ho. All right. Well, guys, this is going to be definitely a non-normal episode of the Ho Ho Show. I've been listening to another podcaster, and he just the guy is absolutely hilarious. I love listening to him. He reminds me a lot of Louis C.K. is who he reminds me of, the comedian. Just how he talks and the pace of his language, it's just that's who he reminds me of, and in a lot of ways his how he tells stories and whatnot too. He doesn't get near as irate as no, not Louis C.K. I'm sorry, Louis Black, yeah, him, and just listening to him and how he's just telling some of his stories, it just really reminded me of just a lot of different things with me, in my heart. I want to back up just a little bit. A goal, that he stated with this podcast, and I give him all the credit in the world on this. This is Dave Kenyon or something like that. It's Dumbing It Down with Dave. You can find his podcast, of course, on Spreaker, probably YouTube, Instagram, other places of that nature. He also has a website, dumbwithdave.com. One word altogether, no spaces, dots, or anything. And I hope he doesn't mind me using this. Also kind of why I figured I'd give him a shameless plug as well. But, he is worth listening to. He's very entertaining. So, just throwing out there. It's kind of one of them things that we as podcasters can do is, spread the word for other podcasters. Listening to Rob Greenlee on the Spreaker Live podcast, with different tips and whatnot on doing podcasts, and that got me interested in Alex Exum and the Exum Experience, and then listening to him got me interested in Dave with Dumbing It Down with Dave. So it's one of them things, that it's just a good way that we can do this as far as just advertising for each other and just throwing stuff out there and throwing plugs in to plug other people's show. So but yeah, I've been listening to his stuff, and he's a very entertaining guy. Granted, I've only listened to like 2 or 3 different episodes, but I kid you not, I about fell out of my chair listening to him on his first episode. He's very entertaining. He's a good guy. But the thing that he threw an acronym out there for was, doing a podcast, do it, be informational, be compelling, and be entertaining. So, ICE was what he came up with. And of course, my mind goes, ice, baby. Do. Yeah, whatever. That's just me. It's one of them things that, and back to a previous thought that I was going to was, at heart, I am a storyteller. I really am. And I wouldn't put myself in the category of a comedian by any means whatsoever. But I have had several friends tell me that, I should go to the, open mic night at the comedy club, close to my hometown. And I'm really shy. I truly am. That's why I do podcasting. But I really don't think in a club like that, I know I would lock up. I really do. I don't have the self-confidence to be able to do something like that whatsoever. But, and I told him, I'm like, I definitely have to have somebody out there in the audience, a heckler, to, throw, just story headlines out there too. Not story headlines, but like, just give me a sentence to remind me of a story, a stupid something that I've done. And that's kind of one of the things I want to get into on this one. But before I get there, it's one of the things that I do suffer from. I suffer from depression. I'm 37, maybe 38, hell, I don't know how old I am. It's after 21, you've got 16. Okay, wait, let me rewind it. You got 10, you get in the double digits. You got 13, you're now a teenager. You got 16, you get your license. 18, you're an adult, even though you're really not an adult. You don't find that out until later. It's a sham. It's a scam. They lie to you. And then you got 21, you can drink. You've got 42, your 21st anniversary the 21st anniversary of your 21st birthday. So 42 is a big one. And then you've got senior citizens discount. So, until I get 42, I've got nothing really to pay attention to. So I don't know how old I am. But at any rate, I've had some real tragedies happen to me in my life. And at 37, it's one of them things that it's going to happen, and it's one of the things, and this isn't to downplay anything that anybody else has been through. We've all heard the little anecdote of one man's trash is another man's treasure, and that's one of them things that it goes for tragedy as well. We've all been through stuff. We've all had bad shit happen to us, and it's one of them things that, you will get through it, and what may not be that big of a deal to you may be huge and, just life-changing to somebody else, because we all have different experiences. We've all had, different stuff happen to us, but we've all known tragedy. And again, it's not to downsize what anybody has gone through, but truth be told, you're no different than anybody else. You're really not. But it's not to put you down. It's to uplift you. Because it's like, you can find help in friends and help in all kinds of other places. People that, may have gone through something similar than you have, and can help you go through it. And that's what the key is. Stuff's going to happen to you. It's just a matter of keeping perspective and knowing that you will make it through. And that's really what it amounts to. What it really boils down to. That's where the rubber meets the road. I'm getting sick of me saying that. But, you know what I mean, though? That's what it's about, And it's one of the things, too, that I was watching I was going through Facebook, and I had seen a picker that was put on there. And, it's a guy, it had to have been in the boat, and this was during the Hurricane Harvey, and I believe it was in Houston, Texas, and it's, flooded neighborhood. You see a stop sign, and you see a street sign, and the street sign said Water Street, and it was, of course, a street of water, but it was more than, just the neighborhood of water, and it's like, yeah, that guy's been through some shit in his life, because he took that picture for just no other reason than he was able to see the humor in the tragedy while he was in the tragedy. In the boat on the flooded street, so that's just, it's uplifting to me to see that and to know that that guy's going to be okay, regardless of what happens with his house or any of his possessions. I know that guy's going to be okay. And the longer you go through life without tragedy happening to you, I feel sorry for that kind of person, because when tragedy finally does come a-knocking, and this isn't to prophesy something evil and, negative into your life, but, it's bound to happen. Stuff happens, people die. It's just, unfortunately, it's the world that we live in, and so tragedy is going to come knocking. And when it does, if you're somebody who's been through it, then you already have a foundation, and you know what to do, you know where to go, you know who to lean on, and you know how to make it through it, and for those that haven't, it's just like riding a bike. You fall down, you pick yourself back up, you brush yourself off, you pick the rocks out of your knee, and you get back on the bike and you try it again. The older you get, the harder it is for that lesson to, I mean, let's face it, you wreck on a bicycle, it's not that big of a deal. You wreck on a motorcycle, and well, now it's a big deal. But the older you get, the harder the lessons hit you, and the harder it is to make it through it, especially if you don't have that foundation of going through it already. So, at my heart, I am, as I said, a storyteller. I mean, I definitely love to tell stories, and that's a lot of who I am. And a buddy of mine sent me a picture. I don't know if this was last night or if it was today. I have no idea. And I'm actually going to put this as a cover art for this episode. And if it says, if I'm telling you a story, be prepared to have 7 mini conversations and 19 other stories thrown into it, because I can't stay focused. And I read that and I'm like, oh yeah, that's me. That's me through and through. So one of the things I wanted to do is just kind of share one of them, and this is me just exposing, not exposing myself. Wow. This is me just being real and being vulnerable. There we go. Being vulnerable, and it's also one of them things that we've all done stupid. We've all had things happen to us, and it's not one of them things that's to be ashamed of. I mean, I'm not necessarily saying do what I'm doing and throw it out there in a podcast, but it's one of them things that it's nothing to really be ashamed of, because we've all had this happen at some point in our lives. We've all done this. Okay. Now, maybe me doing it at the age that I am, because I've got a couple different stories I want to throw into there, because both of them revolve around the same topic. But yeah, so before I get to those, I was going to go ahead and go to a break. And when I get back, it's going to be a funny story. And I hope you guys find it as entertaining as I do, because I definitely do. And I laugh on this. So be back in a few minutes.
Fast on a rough road, riding high through the mountains, climbing, twisting, turning further from my home. Young, like a new moon rising, fierce through the rain and lightning, wandering out into this great unknown. And I don't want no one to cry, but tell them if I don't survive, I was born free. I was born free. I was born free. Born free. Free like a river raging strong is the wind I'm facing, chasing dreams and racing Father Time. Deep like the grandest canyon, wild like an untamed stallion. If you can't see my heart, you must be blind. You can knock me down and watch me bleed, but you can't keep no chains on me. I was born free. I was born free. I was born free. Born free. And I'm not good at long goodbyes, but look down deep into my eyes. I was born free. Calm, facing danger, lost like an unknown stranger, grateful for
All right, guys. Well, I am back. And as I was saying before I went to break, it's one of them things that I don't consider myself a comedian. I don't consider myself overly funny, but I choose to look at things through the lens of comedy instead of through the lens of a tragedy. And that's just a personal choice that I have made. And I have a knack to be able to tell a story and find the humor in it, see the humor in it, and bring it out. So that's where I take you on this one. And if this story wasn't so humiliating, it wouldn't be funny. And it really is. It's one of them things that, yeah. And it's also one of the, it's totally humiliating, but I don't care because it's absolutely and utterly hilarious. I just, yeah, it's funny. But, so let's go back to the Wayback Machine. Let's hop into the DeLorean. Let's go 88 miles an hour. Let's put some plutonium in the tank to generate the 1.21 gigawatts of electricity. Let's go back to November 5th, 1955. I was standing on my toilet and I was hanging a clock. I slipped, I hit my head, and when I came to, I had a vision. A vision of this. The flux capacitor. It's what makes time travel possible. But at any rate, a little bit of a Doc Brown in there, Back to the Future, Michael J. Fox. Yeah, good movie. But anyway, it was, let's say, 1 o'clock, maybe 2 o'clock in the morning. I don't 100%. It was one of those 2 hours. I woke up out of an amazing dream. I was dreaming the dreamiest dream that anyone has ever dreamed. It was an amazing dream. It was a good dream. I was dreaming of pizza. No, I don't know what I was dreaming, but it was a good dream. I woke up and I was just, I stirred a little and I'm like, I shit the bed. And yes, you heard me right. So I got up, I went to I went over to the toilet, to kind of, try to clean up myself. And, this sucker, it was nasty. It was runny. It was just, it was all over me. I sat down and this stuff, this was much more than a 21 wipe salute. This thing was just, it was more than a 50 wipe salute. It was unreal. I gave up after a few tries. I'm like, no. And I wasn't using, John Wayne toilet paper. I was using Charmin. I'm using Pillow. All right. Cause that's what I consider Charmin. I consider it Pillow. But, this wasn't John Wayne. And it wasn't doing nothing. I think I was smearing it around more than anything else. It was just horrible. So I just go to the shower. Just no. I just went right into the shower and got myself cleaned up, and got done with that. I went back to the bed. I pulled out the sheets, dumped it into the dirty laundry, and I'm like, I'm dealing with that tomorrow. Got back to the bed, and I still had a mattress protector on there. It wasn't like it was a bear mattress, not at all. No grizzly bear on there. I had the mattress protector, the just in case protector, and so I went back to bed. I woke up about an hour later, and again, I stirred, and oh man, I shit the bed again. So I got up out of bed, and this time I did not pass go. I did not collect $200. I did not attempt the toilet. I went right for the shower. I'm like, nah. If this is anything like last time, I don't think so. I don't want to go through that again. I don't want to waste toilet paper just to still have to go back to the shower. So I just went straight to the shower. Got myself cleaned up real good, and went back to the bed, took the mattress protector off, and now I've got bare mattress. All right. And I take that over to the dirty clothes, toss that in there, and again, I'm like, I'll deal with that tomorrow. So I get over there. On my way back to bed, I look over at the table, and I see something that changed my life forever. Knowledge met wisdom, and an epiphany was born. The angels were singing in heaven as the light came on, and I look on the table and I see the words, depends. Oh yeah, adult diapers, here to save the day. They were my dad's. He passed away. I would have asked him. I don't think he would have minded. So I put him on. And I went back to bed in confidence, knowing that if I have a loose deuce again, I will be fine. It'll stay where it needs to be, and it won't get all over the bed. This is going to be amazing. So I went back to bed, and I slept great, in confidence, knowing that I've got loose deuce protectors on. I was gold, pony boy. I was good. I got up. Alarm clock woke me up. I get up. I'm excited. I'm happy. I wiggle around a little bit, and I'm like, what the hell? I had nothing in my adult diapers. There was nothing in there. I was upset. I'm like, this is ridiculous. No. This is not happening. This is not how I go through my night and how I start my next day. This ain't happening. I start pushing. Oh yeah, you heard me right. I had constipation face on and everything. I'm pushing. I lift my leg and I'm pushing. Nothing. Oh, I'm distraught. I'm upset. I'm like, oh no. I will not be defeated. I'm like, maybe if I can't do a deuce, maybe I can do an uno. Maybe I can piss myself. So I start pushing again. A little bit different of a face, but I start pushing. I hike my leg. Push some more. Nothing. I was distraught. I was upset. Nothing happened. Nothing came out. I mean, it was an upsetting day. Upsetting day. Not because I just shit the bed twice, but because when I was protected, I used protection, guys, and I couldn't even force anything to happen. Yeah. Upsetting day. Very upsetting day. And then a while back ago, this was like maybe 3-4 months ago, I don't know, I got an apartment. I'm living with a buddy of mine, and I'm gone over the road. I'm like, hey, let's do this. So we're just standing there, kind of like right there by the bathroom, but not right there. And got his room on one side, my room on the other side, and it's about bedtime, and we wasn't going to cuddle, together, at least that night. And no, I'm not gay, neither is he, but hey, it's funny. So we wasn't intending on cuddling that night, but we're talking, we're having a good conversation, and there's a movie that I watched a while back ago, never waste a hard on, never pass up a bathroom, and never ever trust a fart. Well, I gambled on a fart. I lost. It was a bad deal. So I'm standing there, mid-conversation with him. I pooted. But it wasn't a poot, it was a poot with a little something extra. Had just a little bit something at the end, something a little bit more than what I was expecting. I just soiled myself. And it was like, I didn't want to stop the conversation and tell him that, I just got done shit myself and I gotta, please excuse me while I go to the bathroom and clean this up. I didn't want to do that. I mean, it was a good conversation. Can't tell you what it was about. It was a good conversation. So I'm standing there talking with him, and just conversation's done. I go to the bathroom, and or I went to the bathroom and grabbed some clean clothes. I mean, actually, I'm pretty sure that's what I did. And I took a shower and then went to bed. And it was like the next week before I even actually told him that when we were standing there talking, I shit myself right in front of him. And he was like, I knew that sounded juicy. I'm like, oh, it was. I was like, it was good and juicy. So, guys, I tell you that to just let you know that, life's funny. Things happen. Did that actually happen? Absolutely. Both of them. Totally true. And when I share stories with you guys, I mean, my friends can attest that damn near every one of them has actually happened, and that is just a perfect example that yes, it happened. And totally, at first I was like, I was like, at first, I mean, like, I shit the bed twice. I mean, come on, what am I, 5? And it was like, that's funnier than hell. And that's why it was just, and it really was. It was close to an instant, like, that's funny. I got to tell people about this because this is absolutely hilarious. Funniest thing, and it's not my fault totally about, me. We were camping one time, a lot of, family, and we were up there by the fire, and my uncle's sitting in a swing in his swimming trunks, sitting next to his wife and having a good conversation, and he poots. I mean, he does. My daddy told me that there's 5 different categories of farts. There's the fizz, there's the fuzz, the fizz fuzz fizz, the rip shit blow ass, and the little dicky thing that goes peep, and he let one go. I couldn't exactly tell you on which scale it was. This was kind of a, it kind of touched base on 2 different ones. It was kind of a rip shit blow ass and a fizz fuzz fizz. And apparently this thing had a little something at the end, because he after he did this, we all thought, oh yeah, that had a present at the end of it, and it was one of them things that through action he denied. And he gets up, time had passed. He gets up, goes back to his, tent or camper or wherever he's in, and he comes back out, and lo and behold, he's got, blue jean shorts on. He changed out of his swimming trunks, put on some blue jean shorts, and comes out with a washcloth too, and he wipes down the place where he was sitting at. And he's like, well, no, I wasn't going to get up right then and there, because then everybody would have looked and everybody would have known. And true to the word, I mean, none of us even noticed and seen it, that he's walking away with racing stripes. Oh, good times. So, it's not my fault I am the way I am. It's through upbringing. It's in my DNA. It's like diarrhea. It's in the genes. It's not my fault. It runs in the genes. So apparently, and it does. All right. I digress. All right, guys. That's all I got for you today. And again, I'm going to put this this picture up that my buddy sent me. And I'm going to read that again, because it's too good and way too me. If I'm telling you a story, be prepared to have 7 mini conversations and 19 other stories thrown into it, because I can't stay focused. That's me in a nutshell, guys. That's how I am through and through. So y'all have a great one. Enjoy your day. And, good night. Sleep tight. And if the bed bugs bite, by golly, bite 'em back.
Show, but the pain still grows. No stranger